Chits out somewhere there we are. Hello, viewers all over the world. Once again, you are welcome to the Power Impact series where we are influencing our generation. And on today's episode, it's going to be something else. Because in the studios with us this evening, this afternoon, this morning, whichever place you are connecting from, depends on the time you are viewing, is a wonderful person in our midst. Have you ever been to a shop, a mall, an office that you're speaking with the front desk executive and the person's attention is on something else? Have you been to an office where you can't even get anybody to speak with? Or have you logged on to a website that has nothing of a welcoming form of thing to welcome you, the client? Well, this month is our month for customer service. So depending on wherever you are, online, offline, whatever you are doing, there is a bit of customer service in it. So today in our studio is a wonderful lady in our midst that we're going to discuss a lot about customer service relation. We're going to discuss a lot about interacting with people wherever you find yourself, those that are the touch point of organizations. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me sharpen my customer service skills as I bring on board the lady in our studios, Madam Yvonne MacCarthy. Well, welcome to the Power Impact series, where today I'm going to sharpen my customer service skills. So, Madam Yvonne, how are you doing?
I'm fantastic. I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm good. So, Madam Yvonne is the president and head consultant of ICSP, Institute of Customer Service Professionals. She is the board chair of the West African Association of Customer Service Professionals. My God. The board chair of the University of Ghana Medical Center, Client Service Committee, and advisory board member of the Customer Experience Evaluation Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, if I want to go on and on and on, I'm not sure we're going to have this program. The lady sitting there already is customer service entity. All right. So welcome again, Madam Yvonne.
Thank you.
And how you doing?
I'm doing good. I really am. I'm fine. I think when you wake up and you have life and you can do the things you love and impact, I'm fine. I can't ask
wow. Wow. So you see, the last time I just walked to I worked to a bank and then I went to the teller. Okay, so I'm into deposit, not to withdraw. I'm into deposit some money. And the teller's attention is actually focused on something else. And I've gone to the place with an Uber. So my clock is ticking. And the teller seems unconcerned. Actually, the teller don't even know I came in with an Uber, so doesn't really care, and I'm just thinking I will get some kind of response from the teller. It might be true that your system is off, but I don't deal with system. I don't know how the system is working, and the approach really puts off a lot of people. Yeah. As part of Customer Service Week celebration, how will you want to address such an issue?
I think that these situations are quite unfortunate. It shouldn't be happening, especially in Customer Service Week. I always say that I don't subscribe to us just doing all the flashy things during Customer Service Week, and being extra nice is almost cosmetic, you're done after the week, you're back to being that horrible person who cannot make a customer happy. You're just back to being that person who doesn't care about the customer. And so I rather like to look at Customer Service Week or Customer Service Month, which is October, as the month that each and every one of us can introspect and sit down, ask ourselves some simple or serious questions about the jobs that we do, how we're able to impact people's life in terms of the service that we give them, the skills that we need to add up. So instead of just going, hey, customer service week, share toffees and all that. How about, yes, we do all that on the side, just to let the customer know that, look, we might not be great 100% of the time, but at least 99% of the time we'll try. Responsibility. We want to look, the brand Ghana wants to stand tall when we stand amongst our contemporaries in Africa. But we can't do that if we're not taking an individualistic approach. So I'm doing my part, you're doing your part, your manager is doing their part, collectively the organizations are doing their part, the sectors are doing their part, then Ghana will do its part. So I think it's an unfortunate experience for you, and I feel sorry for you if you have to go through that. But unfortunately, these are some of the things that we have to change, and it will take more than customer service week. We need to rewire the way people think and their mindset, in terms of customer service.
Whoops. Yeah, that is it. That is it. That is it. So we're getting closer. We're inching closer to it. Yeah. Okay. So do you normally get some of these feedbacks from customers as an organization? Do you normally get this feedback? So it's just a one-off
A
thing.
lot, a lot. I mean, I get messages in my inbox, people reporting organizations to me and saying, look, Yvonne, can you do something about it? Can you, can you talk about them on social media? But, these things are very difficult to do. And I think for the past 5 years, I really have told myself that knowing how difficult it is to build a business, I don't want to be the one to tear someone's business down before I
Yeah.
mention your name as an organization to say that, look, this is what I think you've done. Then you really must have stepped on not just my toes, toes of people and toes of, numerous citizens before I'll do that. But I hardly do that because I understand what it means to build a brand. And I also understand that there are a lot of organizations who still do not understand the importance of customer service. And even those who understand the importance don't know how to go about it. So they, for example, feel that just training people is where the solution is. But customer service is way more than training. It's drawing up strategies for organizations, it's trying to implement models, it's trying to do a whole 360 change management, because if you have a group of people who are engraved, their mindset is that the customer is some way and customers are difficult and I don't like customers. You have to change the mindset before you even start the training. So it goes beyond that, it goes beyond training. So yes, I have a lot of these complaints coming to me. I have people meeting me on the street and say, are you that customer service woman? Yesterday, somebody, and sometimes you have to apologize on behalf of these companies and just tell them, look, you are a customer, you have a right as a consumer. You're paying for something. It's either a service or a product, and you deserve to be treated well. So if you feel in any way that you're not being given what you need, be bold enough. Sometimes the company might not even know that its employees are behaving in a certain way, which, to be honest with you, most organizations face that, but then it's also their fault because you should know exactly what is going on in your organization. So I have people coming to me with a lot of these complaints.
Right. So now that we have the embodiment of customer service in our studio, we want to run it over to you to take us through what you have for us to beef up and make our customer service experience a superb one. That will get that wow feel when we leave any office, when we leave any service provider. We'll get that wow factor that will say, yes, I'm going back to this place again and again for their service or their product. So, Madam Yvonne, take over.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I'd like to say hello. I don't want to say good evening because you might be listening somewhere else and it's probably afternoon or morning. So
Yeah.
hello to everyone who's been able to join us here. And going through what I wanted to discuss, I mean, the topic was to look at how to deliver exceptional customer service. And so I feel that every time we talk about these things, you find people wanting to go very technical and they forget that you need to speak to people in a very simplistic way. It's not that they will not understand technical stuff, but but no one needs the technical information. We need the basic stuff to be able to change ourselves first and then move the customer service forward. So I decided to look at customer service that or areas that you and I as individuals need to work on. So it's nothing to do with the organization, it's you and I. What do you need to do to be able to offer exceptional customer service? So first of all, I tell people that, look, when you go through, I go through trainings with people. I'm not interested really in giving you a textbook definition of what customer service is. To me, it's the experience that I'm worried about. The customer needs to walk away with a particular experience. And that experience has to create a memory that they do not forget. So if you're able to describe customer service to me in a way that I know you understand that your actions will create an unforgettable experience to the customer, then I know you get it. But the minute we start going, oh, customer service is the service you receive before and after a service, I know you're not getting it. So I want us to look at things that we can do that would make our customers dream about us, that would make our customers see us as exceptional people. And the first thing, there are 5 things. Okay, I'll go through them with you. The first thing is for us to look at the look and feel. The look and feel. Then we have attitude. Yes, then we have the attitude. Then we have knowledgeability. Knowledgeability. Then we have cross-sell and upsell. And then we have processes and procedures. So these 5 things, if you want to give exceptional customer service, you have to pay attention to these things. And I said that the first one is the look and feel. So basically, the look and feel, I'm sorry, you have to prompt me because I talk a lot, especially when it has to do with customer service. So you have to prompt me so that I'm aware of our time, okay?
Don't worry.
The look and feel. Yes, basically, and sometimes I wish I could pose this question to people who are listening to us so that they give me their views. But basically, sometimes when you say the look and feel, people go straight to the physical, and they are not wrong, actually. When I say that the look and feel has to be paired with the customer, it means that anything that you do as a person or your organization does, that the customer comes in contact with within the first few seconds, not minutes, first few seconds of them coming in contact with you, that affects their perception of you, is what the look and feel is. So for example, if you have an organization and I walk through the gate and there is a security man, right? I'm driving. I don't work there. I don't know where I'm supposed to park and where I'm not supposed to park. And what they could do for customers is to put maybe don't park here, and all that. But that hasn't been done. Now, this security man is standing under the tree with the groundnut seller, and they're having a jolly old conversation. So I drive in and I struggle to park. I park, but I try to park anyway. I park nicely. And just as I'm getting down, the security man comes and then will hit the bonnet of my car and say, Madam, you can't park here. Now, that security man is part of the look and feel. That man is part of the look and feel.
Exactly.
Because had with that organization has immediately drawn the wrong perception in my head. Because this man didn't do his job. He probably didn't speak to me properly. He's probably not appropriately dressed. And so he annoys me or angers me before I even walk into the bank. Now, when I walk into the bank, the look and feel affects things like even ventilation. Is the place hot or is it ventilated? Seating arrangements. Do you have enough seats for customers to sit? The branding. So if it's a departmental store, for example, do you have the signage that tells you this is for groceries, this is for maybe electricals, or everything is just mumbo jumbo and I have to look for it? Now, the people who work there, which is you and I, the way you dress, are you appropriately dressed? Because if you work in a bank, that's a corporate environment. You can't just get up and wear anything. And in fact, let's say, for example, I work with MTN. I can never wear a red shirt. They won't agree. My shirt has to be yellow, or my tie has to be yellow. It has to be a white shirt and a yellow tie. So even the way you dress, it forms part of the look and feel. And that's where you and I have a responsibility daily to make sure that you're dressing appropriately, you're using your badge or your logo or whatever it is you need to wear to let people identify you with the brand. Now, apart from the way you look physically, and the ventilation and whether there's enough pens and papers and whatever for customers to write. Your demeanor, the person, your demeanor, the way you behave, whether you're smiling, whether you're receptive. Because sometimes you walk into places, the place is beautiful, it's well painted, there's AC, there's a dispenser, you can drink water, the seats are beautiful. Then you see somebody at the counter with her face like this, like really bad. So immediately, it just waters down on how beautiful the place looks. The place looks nice, but the people are wrong. And so the place, it feels like you are in a house and not a home. And I say that because if it's a house, it might be very beautiful, but it's not warm.
Yeah.
When you go in, no one welcomes you, no one smiles, no one is having a conversation, everybody's in their room. And I need organizations to be homes and not houses. So that's the look and feel, the way you dress, the way you speak or welcome the customer, your demeanor, everything physical about the environment. So even if you have an office, whether your office is clean or not affects the look and feel. If I walk into your office and your office is messy, immediately I start forming a perception about the organization. How can this place be dirty? And then I start forming a perception about you, the individual, because this is work and it should look neat, right? So that's the look and feel. So we have a responsibility individually. Forget about what your company can do. If your company doesn't have the money to be too flashy now, you still have a responsibility to look right, speak right, walk right, behave right, just be right, so that the right perceptions are formed for the customer. So that's the look and feel. Now, let me just ask you something, Benjamin. Imagine if you walk into a hospital, right? You're ill, and someone says to you, look, I know a fantastic hospital you can go to. And then they direct you to the place. You get to the hospital and realize that the building is black, right? They painted the building black. So you're like, hospital. Anyway, no problem. Let me just go in there. Because you can see the sign of the hospital. So you know it's the hospital you were told about. Now you walk in there and you see people seated. They're sitting at the reception. But then when you look on the wall, you see posters of maybe Jay-Z, Shatta Wale, some movies with guns. You're going to be wondering, is this a hospital? But then just as you're wondering, someone walks by and starts calling somebody, oh, doctor, doctor. So you're like, oh, okay, then it really is a hospital because somebody is calling the doctor. So you turn and look at the doctor and he's in jeans, baggy jeans, his boxers are showing, he's pierced his ear 2 or 3, like rings here and there, necklaces and all that. Then you're like, but then he has a stethoscope on his neck. So you're wondering, is this a doctor? So just as you're wondering, someone says, doctor, again, you turn and then you see this person who is supposed to be the nurse. And guess what she's wearing? Hot pants, high heels, big hoop earrings, Beyonce style kind of hair. I mean, come on, straight away, look, tell me if you would allow these people to take care of you. No.
I'll find out if I went for a show or I'm in at the hospital.
Exactly. You would immediately think, no, I think these people, they're acting a movie. Have I walked into a movie set? Or is this really, and you would not be comfortable being served by someone like that. And it has nothing to do with stereotyping anybody. It just has to do with the mind and how we can easily form perceptions based on what we see. And so for your organization, even you, to give excellent or exceptional customer service, you have to look the part. I wouldn't know how fantastic you are, how competent you are, how knowledgeable you are if you're not appropriately dressed. I have to see you, gravitate towards you, form the right perception about you before I open up, and then I get to feel your competence and your professionalism. So that's for the look and feel. Anything that affects the customer's perception within the first few seconds of coming in contact with you is the look and feel. So that's number one. Number one is out of the way.
Right. Okay.
The second one.
Before we move to the second one.
Yes.
Before we move to wow. Oh, so ladies and gentlemen, viewers, this is just one out of the 5. And the one alone, Yvonne, if I should break this one into bits and pieces, I'm not sure even it will start with a 5 because so yes, So it actually means the customer service does not even start with a front office person.
No. In fact, now that we've all digitalized our services, right? It
Yeah.
starts in someone's bedroom. If I'm
Okay.
sitting in my room at 12 a.m.,
Yeah.
trying to
Yeah.
go through your website, that is the interaction. It started. So if I come to your website and it's not loading, you don't have enough information, you're still using 021 instead of 0302 as a
Okay.
prefix for your number, the email address is wrong, you have a chat box, but it's not working. Hey,
Okay.
that's the interaction
Okay.
right there. That's the look and feel. Because at
All
that
right.
point, at 12 a.m., that is your branch. At 12 a.m.,
Okay.
that is your branch.
Okay.
That is your
Okay.
office. And you've told us that you want to be able to connect with us regardless the time. So if I go there at 12 a.m., it should work and it should be seamless. So the interaction, as for front desk, they are like the fourth in line, but they don't even know. Front desk is not your frontliner, to be honest with you.
Okay.
With the way things are going now, the person who picks up the phone within the first few minutes, first contact, or your website becomes the first point of call for judgment when the customer is dealing with you.
Wow. 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 So even whilst you are asleep, your look and
Oh
feel is being
yes,
felt
we're judging you.
by somebody somewhere.
Absolutely. Whilst you're sleeping, we're judging you because you wake up and then you
Okay.
find messages from people saying, "Yes, I tried to log in, but it didn't work." That's feedback
Okay.
right there, and it's negative feedback. So it's just like me
Okay.
coming in at 9 and saying, "I tried to enter the branch, but it was closed."
Oops.
Yeah.
Got that one. I got that
Yeah.
one. Sure, sure. We'll move. We can move on to the second step, which
Yes.
is going to also give us another platform.
Yes. So number two is your attitude.
Attitude.
Attitude. And for those of you listening to me, I am one of those people that if you get a chance to speak to me, apart from you trying to be skilled, okay, you have the right skills, have the right values. I am a big believer that you really are what you think. And I have so many examples of where I have experienced things that I have thought about over the years. And I always use this as an example. I always say, and if you go back onto my Facebook pages, sometimes you see, I mean, someone said, Yvonne, you have the audacity. I said, you need to have the audacity as a person. You need to have the audacity. If you know what you're doing and you're convinced that you have the competence, why not? So I keep saying, and I've been doing customer service for 11 years now since I moved from the UK. I keep
Oops.
saying to them, anytime you mention Yvonne MacCarthy, I don't want you to think about, oh, that woman that's nice, that has this hair, that no. The minute Yvonne MacCarthy comes up, I want your mind to go straight to customer service.
Okay.
Simple. So
Okay.
sometimes I'll go and write things like Yvonne MacCarthy is equal to customer service.
Okay.
And over the years, because I have said that to myself and I have believed it and I have worked towards it, that is exactly what it is. Because if you go and type Yvonne MacCarthy in Google, nothing comes up about what I do for fun and all of that. Everything that comes up is about customer service, institute,
Okay.
customer
Okay.
service index, reports.
Okay.
And that's what I wanted to do.
Okay.
But I had to start here. It's an attitude thing.
All
And
right.
so, one of the biggest problems that we face when it comes to customer service is that we have the wrong mindset. People have the wrong attitude. You walk into a place, the person feels, and I think you've heard this like 1 billion times, they feel like they're doing you a favor. You don't do anybody a favor. And the fact that we even have to talk about it, that this is where some people, or this is how some people feel and behave, is a problem. Because when you take that seat and you open your doors to people, to consumers, to citizens of Ghana to come and buy and pay for your services, you owe them the smile. You owe them your competence. You owe them your professionalism. You owe them your fairness. You owe them your friendliness. You are not doing anybody a favor. And one thing we always forget is that we are also customers. We are customers too.
Okay.
We forget it so
Okay.
quickly. And immediately we move from our own organizations into maybe another shop. We want to, yeah, they are not treating me correctly. They're not smiling. But guess what? You just left your place 30 minutes ago. Were you smiling? Were you treating the customer fairly? So we need to treat people the way we want to be treated. But it all starts from here. So anytime I talk about attitude, I talk about our perceptions. Our perceptions. What do we think about certain things, certain elements? Someone will tell you so freely, customers, they're more hard, meaning customers are too worrisome, they're troublesome. Or someone will say, customers feel too good about themselves. Yeah, they're paying you, they need to feel good. And it's your responsibility to top it up and make them feel even better. So if you have this perception, when you wake up and you're going to work, trust me, you're not going with the intention to make someone's life better, to put a smile on someone's face. You're going because to you, the group of people who will be coming into your shop, into your restaurant, into your hospital, they are troublesome. And so you're also getting yourself ready on how you're going to meet fire with fire. So the perception, you are a servant first, right? You are a servant. And I'll just bring this in. We have a problem. That's a different day. That one, you invite me for a different day. Let me come and break down people's mindsets for you. We have a big problem with service in Africa. We have a big problem with service in Africa. I think that the African sees the word service as something that is derogatory. So when you say somebody is a servant, they're thinking, how am I a servant? And I think that our slavery history also comes, our colonized, history also plays a part. Because of course, when you were a slave, what were you? You were called a servant, all right? So I think a lot of people still feel very emotional when those words are used. But leadership is all about service. And in order for you to give excellent service, you have to be all willing to give. Imagine what a beautiful world it will be. Imagine what a fantastic progressive organization we'll have. But because our mentality of serving people is that it is derogatory, I would rather you serve me than I serve you. That's the problem. So let's just say, for example, when people have maybe house helps who are brought from, maybe their villages or places just to come and help them. To start with, we see the house help as somebody who doesn't even deserve a salary because we think we're doing them a favor. Some of them we don't even take to school. Yes, some of them you don't even take them to school. Now, this person whose services like really takes care of your family. Sometimes they do the laundry, they cook, they clean the house, you send them to the market. If they were in another country, they'll be making, God knows, thousands and thousands of dollars or pounds for those services that they're offering. But this is Ghana, so they get nothing. Now, when you get a visitor and you want, let's say, for example, Ajua to come and serve, that's the word we always use. Ajua, come and serve uncle, come and serve daddy. So the word serve is being used to instruct somebody that we, in quotes, don't think even meets the standard of our respect. Do you get it? So when that bank manager goes to work and a customer walks in and says, hey, what's going on here? Someone should serve me. What he thinks about is, hey, Ajua at home. Ajua, my house help. I tell her to serve people, and you are also here telling me to serve. So it's a psychological problem. It is not the service problem that we're having in Africa. It's not just some anyhow problem. People think people just don't want to do the right thing. No, we have a problem that emanates from here. So in order for us to do the change, we have to change the perception that we have. So when I talk about attitude, your perception comes in, your character. If you have formed character already, I can't help you because it's become part of it's engineered in your genes. You have
It's
done
wired
this
in your
over
genes.
the years, and exactly, it's wired in your genes. It's that's who you have become. But your behavior can be altered because usually behavior is affected by what happens around us. So you behave according to what you feel or what you see or the people that you're with. Our habits, things that we've done over the years that we become so used to. Anytime I talk about attitude, I look at these 4 things: your habits, character, behavior, and perceptions, mindset. Anything that you want to do, anything you want to give exceptional service, tell yourself every morning when you wake up, I love my job. Even if you don't love your job, for now, that's where you make your money. Even if they are paying you 100 Ghana cedis, for now, that's where you make your money. You're gaining experience. It might not be $1 billion, but you're gaining experience. So tell yourself that as I'm going to work, I'm going to have the right mindset. I am going to make at least 99.999% of the customers that I interact with happy. If you are able to tell yourself this every morning, trust me, when you get to work, you would have a whole different demeanor. But because we wake up feeling like customers are annoying, customers can't do this, I don't want to do this for the customer. Of course, when we go to work, the mind is telling you, yes, that's the annoying customer number 1 is coming next, annoying customer number 2 is coming next, and so then you behave accordingly. You behave accordingly to the way you're feeling, right? So that's the number 2. We have to. I have had Benjamin, if I want to tell you some of the things I have told myself and where it's
Okay.
taking me, you'll be amazed. I always
All
said
right.
that I want to be known not in the world, because I schooled in the UK. I know that there are certain areas as a Black girl you probably might not really, go into. I wanted to
Yeah.
come to Africa and be known for something on my continent. And so for me, everything I do, I'm looking at the African way. And for the last few years, since I kept saying that to myself, I've had invitations to go to places in Africa just to go and speak. Just to go and speak. And I'll be doing that on Tuesday. I'll be going to Zambia just to go and open up their
Okay.
customer service conference. But
Okay.
these are some of the things that have come up from my mentality that I told myself, yeah, your attitude, I have to be that person. I have to be that person you think about when you want to think about customer service in Africa. I have to be that one Black woman that is amongst all these customer service experts that you know around the world. And
Okay.
it's an attitude thing. The minute I said that, I started behaving like that. I started thinking like that. I started acting like that. And it's working. So we need to change our attitude. You need to get into the mode of serving. Even if you're a leader, you have to be a servant leader.
Okay.
You don't sit on the
Okay.
top and say that I manage, I control, I direct. No, you should be inspiring, you should be motivating, you should be encouraging, you should be negotiating and persuading people. That is who the 21st century leader is. So even for our leaders, and that will be for another day again, the mindset needs to change. So that's for attitude. That's for number 2. That's our attitude.
All right.
So if you have a question, you can ask me. Otherwise, I'll push attitude to the side and move on to my number 3.
Attitude, attitude, attitude. Ladies and gentlemen, give me an attitude online now because I need an attitude from you. So the attitude that you talked about, actually, you made mention of the demeanor of the person, the looks from the person. Though there are some people who say, for me, smiling or putting up a good face or facial expression, it's not my thing, but I can equally do the work. So how do you, how do you look at such a person who is also part of the organization?
The truth is that whether you like it or not, we're created in a certain way. And God gave us eyes for a reason, so that we do the judgment with our eyes first before we even move in to talk to you and get acquainted with you. If you
Okay.
don't have a smile on your face, and I don't live in your house with you, so I don't know that you're a nice person, but then your face tells me that you're not a nice person, I will walk into the place and judge you because you
Okay.
have a frown on your face. And
Okay.
it's until I have met you and realize that, oh, this person is actually not that bad. You are doing
Okay.
yourself a disfavor. Yes, you are doing yourself a disfavor, because what you do is you allow me to walk away with the wrong perception about you. And perceptions are contagious.
Right.
Perceptions are
All right.
contagious.
All
If
right.
I walk away and go to my house and just go and tell my family members, do you know I went to that bank and the woman who sits at the first teller is so rude? I have just passed on my feelings to them. I have
Okay.
passed on my
Okay.
perception about you to them.
Okay.
They don't
Okay.
have to experience you. In fact, some of them will go and tell other people about you even when they have not met you. Hey, yes, ma'am, no, the woman who sits at the teller number 1 is rude. And that's it.
Okay.
So you
It's
owe
true.
yourself, yes, you owe yourself that responsibility to smile so that I'll be attracted to you, to even get to know you and say that, wow, you're even a much nicer person. It shouldn't be that I say, oh, you are actually a nice person, but the first day I met you, I couldn't tell because you didn't smile. No. And your smile can make someone's day. They don't have to approach you. Your smile will say a lot about you. It will say to the customer, you're welcome to this place. It will say to the customer, I'm willing to help. It will say to the customer, I empathize with you.
Sure.
So you don't have to wait for somebody to now get to know you before they now say, oh, she's actually a nice. No. Let your smile do the talking for you, because that customer might not get to engage with you. They need to leave with the right perception about you.
Sure. Perfect. So the next question, obviously, you're going to, I'm thinking about is now that COVID is in the house with our nose masks on, how do you go beyond that to create that exceptional?
Look,
Right. Good.
I've had trainings where people are not really smiling. They're wearing their mask, and then they'll tell you, oh, actually, I'm smiling, but because of the mask, you can't see. And I always crack this joke, and I tell them, look, unless you are able to smile and still maintain this part of your face not moving, if that is the type of face you have, then maybe I'll believe what you're saying. Because even with the mask, when you smile, there would be a squint here. You know, there'll be a squint here. I can even tell that your cheeks might move up a bit. You might have creases on your forehead. And so if you're wearing a mask and use that as an excuse, you haven't done anything. People wear masks and you can still tell. We can tell receptiveness from your voice. We can tell receptiveness from your posture, the way you sit. We can tell from your aura. So it's not just the smile. The smile is part of the look and feel, but we have other paralinguistic movements that make someone look at you and say, wow, that person is pleasant, or that person is willing and ready to serve. So yes, I know a lot of people are making excuses with, oh, I'm wearing the thing, I was smiling, but you didn't say. I always tell them you are lying because your eyes didn't squint, your forehead didn't crease up. It's not true.
Exactly. that was a virtual smile. Ladies and gentlemen, how are you having a wonderful time in here with Yvonne MacCarthy? You need to put up a good attitude and let attitude be contagious. Let us feel it. Just don't hide behind the face mask and pretend as if you're doing it, because we will need to see that on your face, in your voice, in your sitting posture or your standing posture.
Yes.
So if you're joining us, you're welcome to the Power Impact series, and we are in the house today with Yvonne MacCarthy, equal to customer service. That's it. So if I have the opportunity to rewrite the dictionary, the perfect word I will use in place of customer service is Yvonne MacCarthy. So we just finished with our second point, and we are about to move to our third point. So Yvonne, take us to the third point.
Just before I go to the third point, we have to start remembering that when we talk about attitude, you can wear an attitude. I'm not saying that we don't have problems at home. People have different issues. Some of them, I mean, if they were to tell us, we'll just stop in our tracks. People are suffering from a lot, their relationships, their work, all of that. However, once you decide that I'm going to wear my uniform and go to work, you have to wear the attitude. So if the wrong attitude is what you're wearing, when you get out of the Uber, of the trotro, out of your car, look for some tree, under some tree, remove that bad attitude and put it there. Put on the right one, go in. When you're done after 5, if you still want to wear the bad attitude, go back under that tree, put the bad attitude on and wear it home. But by all means, you should not hang your bad attitude on the necks of your customers. And customer service is all about lights, camera, action. There are lots of things that go on at the background. But the minute you're about to serve the customer, it's action time. So the smile has to be there. Your demeanor has to be on point. You have to be doing the right things to ensure that the customer gets the right experience. So we'll move on to the third one, knowledgeability.
Sure.
Knowledgeability.
Knowledgeability.
And I've always said that, yes, being knowledgeable, understanding your terrain. If it's insurance you're in, do you understand your products? Do you understand the services? Do you know what the regulator requires of you? Do you even understand some element of human psychology? Because you're working with people. Once in a while, they might have a grievance. Do you understand these things? You can walk into a shop and ask somebody, excuse me, young lady, do you have ABC? She's not sure. So she'll stand there and say, we ran out. Just like that. Or we haven't ordered it yet. Or we don't have it. But then that product that you're looking for might be in the shop. She's not knowledgeable enough. She doesn't understand the processes. She doesn't understand the services. She doesn't understand the products, their features, the benefits. We have to make sure, especially if you run an organization, when you employ people, train them. Let them familiarize themselves with the products and services that you have, because they're supposed to be able to help the customer by giving the customer the right information. So that's one thing that you have to do. They have to be knowledgeable about their sector or their industry, so that when I come in as a customer and I'm coming to tell them, do you know that one of your competitors actually sells the same product, but they sell it for 10 cedis and you are selling it for 50 cedis? That person will not be taken by surprise, because they know the environment, they know the industry. But usually, because people are not knowledgeable enough, customers come and lie to them. The customer will come and say, you have to reduce this thing because next door, they're actually selling it at 10 cedis. And then you find the person confused. Then maybe I also tell my boss so that we reduce it. You don't know anything. It's because you're not knowledgeable about the product. So our knowledge has to be about what we sell, the services we have, plus what is going on in the industry. So that, number one, we're able to give our customers the right products and services. Number two, we give them the right information. And then we're also able to help our organizations if our competitors are doing better and they're doing something that is worthwhile. We don't copy. Maybe we can better what they're doing. So we need to know. We need to be knowledgeable. Yes. And I think one thing that a lot of people don't do, and remember that in the beginning I said, let's talk about how we can do it individually. If you work in an organization, fine, maybe your employers did not train you. You have to be responsible for your own knowledge. Acquire knowledge. Acquire knowledge. Find out about the products. When you're on your way home, just go on YouTube or go on Google and search, what does this product do? It does A, B, C, D. So when your customer comes and they're having a conversation with you, they realize they're having a conversation with a competent, knowledgeable person, not somebody who is there as a puppet. Oh, they just put me here. That's not a good answer. Oh, I only came here last week. It's not a good answer. Oh, I'm a national service person. That's not a good answer. Because the point is, you are there. And the job is for you to deliver, give the right information, offer the right service. So whether you've been there for just an hour or whether that's not your department, doesn't even come in. The customer doesn't need to know that. The customer just needs to be offered and served the right ingredients that will make them happy. Don't wait for your employer to come and give you information. You can search on Google. You can do YouTube videos. Right now, there's so many things you can learn on YouTube. So if you have your phone and you're only using it to Snap and to TikTok, problem. Because even in TikTok, you can learn so much, you know. So take advantage of your own learning and even tell yourself, maybe every week I'll read a page that has to do with something in my industry. If you're in telecommunications, every week I'll read something that is directly, related to my job or my career. And you see what you would gain in the next month or the next quarter or the next, 6 months, just by setting yourself that task of acquiring knowledge. Knowledgeability. Be knowledgeable. That's number 3. So we're going to move on to number 4. I know you want to ask me something. I can see you are smiling.
So, I mean, I was just thinking about this scenario. See, okay, as you just said, the president is a national service personnel. And actually, that is not his or her dream job. So she feels that she's doing the organization a favor. So it doesn't really see why he or she needs to go deeper. But then again, that's what you just said. Once you are in that organization, you are an embodiment. I don't need to know whether you are here for a day or two. All I know is company A, and I don't need the other stuff. So you can best maybe take me to the right person who can give me a detailed breakdown of what the person is asking for.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
And we need to understand one thing. If you're a customer service person and you're standing, you see, sometimes people feel that opportunities will be put on a silver platter and brought to them.
Okay,
No,
okay,
opportunities are all around us. But when your mindset is wrong, you will not even identify that this is an opportunity.
an opportunity.
So if you're a national service person and you make the effort to learn something about your product, a customer can even come in and say, you know what, I'm very impressed with the way you expressed yourself and the way you explained the product. Wow,
Yes.
what do you do here? That's when you tell them you're a customer service person, they are impressed because they did not expect you to know that much. And then good things could happen from there. Let me speak to the manager. I think you need to maintain this guy. He's really good.
Okay.
That's your opportunity. The opportunity
Exactly.
will not come in a bag and then someone will say, this is your opportunity. So the minute you open the doors to the customer, yours is to do right.
All right.
Whether they
Right.
just put you there for an hour, whether they put you there for a minute, do right. And I always say to people, organizations, that when you employ people, make them have a feel of each department. That's what most of the organizations outside do. When they employ you for a
Okay.
whole month, you wouldn't be doing what you were employed to do. They want you to have a feel
Okay. Okay.
of
Every department.
finance. They want you to have a feel of the admin department. They want you to have a feel of HR, customer
Okay.
service, sales and
Okay.
marketing. So when you
Okay.
sit in your chair and somebody from finance is requesting something from you, you understand because you've been there for a week. You've seen how hot things are. You see the pressure and you understand that your output will become their input. So you have to do your job quickly. So that's something that some organizations do. I know we don't really do that here because here, when you're employed, boom, go and do the job,
Straight.
and then straight up. But then what they also forget is, in the midst of them being in a hurry to put you out there, they're alienating their customers because customers can tell this person is not competent enough. This person is
Okay.
making so many mistakes. This person is not
Okay.
even happy to be here. And immediately
Okay.
you alienate your customers. You alienate your customers instead of drawing them to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So today's show, our hashtag that we have, I'm sure we're not finished, but this is the first one we have in here is that do it right.
Do it right.
Hashtag do it right. Because you might not know. You might not know who you are sacking away from the organization or who you are letting that person gain confidence in your organization. All right. Thank you, Madam Yvonne. So our next point.
Our next point, we're looking at processes and procedures. Now, this is a
Okay.
very important point. And this also affects even management because most of the processes and procedures will be set by them, not necessarily the person working there. However, it's important for whoever is working there, which is either you or I, to understand what the laid down procedure or the process is. We need to understand the policy. Now, we need to also know where there are gray areas. It shouldn't always be black and white. Sometimes you walk into organizations and you realize that you're having a problem. And so you go to them and say, look, this is the issue. It might be something that has never cropped up before. And so there is no particular solution to the problem. But when you walk to someone who thinks that a process and a procedure is more to protect the organization than the customer, they will just sit on the fence and tell you, it's our policy. It's our policy. But you need to ask yourself, are people or customers made for policies, or policies are made for customers?
Okay. Okay.
Are policies made for customers, or customers are made for policies? Policies are made for customers. So if you've made a policy 10 years ago, and the policy clearly, it has outlived its usefulness. It's not helping the customer. It's causing more problems than making the customer happy. Why are you still sitting on that policy? Because it's easier for you. You need to think about how you're going to either review, change, tweak, and just update the policy so that you can still maintain whatever processes you wanted to. But then in the midst of it all, you are not caught making the customer unhappy. So the processes and procedures, we owe our customers the responsibility of understanding what the processes are, understanding why these processes and policies exist, being able to explain these to the customer when they require, and then sometimes make exceptions to the rule when necessary.
Unnecessary.
Yes, because I feel that we always find it easier not to find solutions. It's easier for us to say, this is how we do it here, so let's just do it that way. How do you hold on to a policy you've had for 10 years? You're still running that same policy in your organization in 2021, and your people are happy to be saying, oh, that's our policy. And your customers keep complaining about that same policy.
Right.
And you're not asking yourself, I mean, what is it? What can we change? What can we renew? What can we take out? So processes and procedures are first and foremost the responsibility of leadership, supervisors, managers, top CEOs, C-suite and B-suite. But it's you and I, the employees, who would go and explain the policies, who would have to deal with customers who have to follow these policies. And so it's important we understand it, we're able to explain it, we're able to stand by them sometimes. Some of the policies are actually there to also protect customers. So for example, if a customer comes in and they're requesting information, let's say even two married people, right? But they have separate accounts. They have separate accounts, it's not joint. If the husband walks to the teller and says, this is my wife's account, can you tell me the balance? No, it's a policy. Unfortunately, I won't be able to tell you because we promised to keep everything between your wife and ourselves confidential. You're protecting the customer. At that point, the gentleman in front of you might feel that this policy is not a good one. She's my wife, blah, blah, but you should be able to explain to her why not. Because you hold that customer some confidentiality. You have promised them that. You should be able to explain. Not, please, you live with the hair in the house, go and ask her. It should be easy. You can't also go that route. So there are policies that are there to protect the customer. It shouldn't be, and your main focus of having a policy is not to protect you as an organization. You're working for the customer, so they are number one. So that's for the processes and procedures.
Just an example or an experience. You go to the bank and then you submit a check, and probably there is no money in that account, and the teller or the person receiving it just fold back the check to you and say, call the person.
Yes, unfortunately, I mean, that's a very unfortunate situation. Sometimes you can just write it on the paper and give it to them. You don't have to speak in the mic and just say, there's nothing in there. Can you call him? I mean, come on, So yes, there are policies, there are processes, there are procedures, but in everything that you do, you need to think about the customer. You need to ask yourself, how is my action going to affect the customer? How is it going to affect their experience? And how is it going to affect the perception or reputation of the organization that you also work for, right? So we'll move on to the last one, which is cross-sell and upsell. And I call that the selling techniques or the sales techniques. So usually you find that people feel that, oh, if I'm a frontline person, my job is just to sit there, hello, hi, and that's all I do. But you also have a responsibility to sell. You have a responsibility to be able to sell products and services to customers that come in. It's not just the job of salespeople. You also understand the products, you know the services, you know what can be offered to the customer. So when customers come in and you realize they have a need for your services, be confident enough in your sales techniques to tell them that maybe we have A, B, C, D, E. Now, apart from the frontliner, right? If you're a sales advisor, for example, you can't just always wait to take instructions from the customer. So customer says, I want to buy A, B, C, D, and then quickly, You just give it to them. You need to ask questions. Oh, may I ask exactly what you're using it for? How many people are you hoping to use this with? All these things will help you. Imagine if I walk into a shop where you're selling furniture and I want to buy maybe a dining set, right? We have a 4-seater, we have an 8-seater, we even have a 12-seater. Now you choose the 6-seater actually. But as we're having the conversation, you're actually saying, yeah, I have a family of 10. And you're choosing a 6-seater. What does that mean?
Yeah.
So I, as a salesperson, have to use my sales technique at that point to say, oh, mom, we actually have different varieties and different sizes. Since you're saying that you have a family of 10, I think the 12-seater will help, so that even on days when you have an extra person or 2 people, you have extra 2 chairs. You have sold not just the product, but the right product to the customer. So when I talk about cross-sell and upsell, it's like me coming in and saying, can I buy toothpaste? Right? I want to buy toothpaste. Now, if you, as the sales advisor, you're able to sell me the toothpaste plus other things that would go with it, like a toothbrush, mouthwash, flossing, the flosser. If you're able to sell me other things in addition to that toothpaste, you have done some cross-selling. So I have bought my toothpaste plus other things. I've crossed over and bought some other things. Now the upsell is maybe I came to buy toothpaste and you have different sizes. And as I was speaking to you, I said, oh, I'm buying this, but usually my whole family uses it. I have a family of 4. And you say to me, madam, if you have a family of 4, then maybe you should buy the big one. So it's the same product, but you convince me to buy a bigger one or an upgraded version. So that's is an upsell.
Wow.
All elements of customer service. There are things we need to learn how to do. We need to understand because it helps the customer. The customer is not just interested in a smile. They're interested in you being knowledgeable. They're interested in you understanding them. They're interested in you being able to give them accounting office and auditor's office and you're a consultant. It's not just about giving the customer what they've asked for. Especially say, for example, you're in a pharmacy. If you don't ask the right questions to sell them the right thing, you would have a problem. So cross-sell and upsell are also elements of customer service. That's our number 5. It is something we need to learn to do. And again, sales technique is a whole different training on its own. How to sell, how to convince, how to negotiate and persuade the customer. That's a whole different thing. It's selling psychology. So I don't want to delve too much into that. But that is one of the other elements that as an individual, you also need to look at and make sure that you understand and at least on the minimum level, you're able to execute.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this moment, I want to put up a smile. And then I'll make sure my approach and my attitude is welcoming to my customer. Wow. So I was thinking about the earlier point, the look and the feel. And then as you just gave it, that it actually starts all the way from the time you enter the premises of the company or organization you're going to transact business or going to buy a product. So it's starting from that point. But most organizations, when they're running the trainings about their services and product or their whole brand, it's actually without the people who are the first touch points, especially the security, the traffic controllers, even the cleaners of the place. So as you said, the first impression about the place is not even the real employees of the organization, but this subcontractors or subcontract people, other people. So I think that was a powerful point. That's a very clean and classic point you shared with that. And It really sank deep. It
I
really
always
sank
say
deep.
that you cannot brag or boast of being a customer-centric organization if you're partnering and doing business with organizations that don't care about customer service. So if the
Yeah.
organization that offers your janitorial services, like the cleaners and all of that, are within your premises, they are interfacing with customers, they are interacting with customers, yet they've had no training, and then you train all your sales advisors, it doesn't mean anything, because this cleaner will be running his mop on people's shoes before he even says, excuse me. Yes, they'll have the mop and they wouldn't even put, oh, please, caution, water on the floor. They will be cleaning whilst you're there. They'll wipe your shoes and they'll get angry that, can't you see that I'm cleaning the floor? You are you are engaging or partnering with organizations that do not care about customer
Okay.
service. So it doesn't matter how
Wow.
much you care as an organization. If the security company that you're engaging doesn't care, they won't train their people. They won't get them to dress appropriately. They won't teach them how to speak well. And they will come and alienate your customers.
Wow. 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 Ladies and gentlemen, another wonderful time and this experience gathered from this epitome of customer service skills. No, you see, that we at African Seasoned Speakers Network really adore and appreciate you. If no one is going to do it, you are doing it now, because the wealth of
Thank you.
knowledge that you've shared and then you are continually doing on the African continent is priceless. It's priceless. Any time or any few minutes spent with you is an eye opener to treating the customer right, to letting the customer feel very important rather than your product, but placing the customer on the pedestal that will be willing to enjoy your service or your product. So we here as a speaker agency, we say we really appreciate all that you're doing. We appreciate every
Thank
little
you.
thing that you are putting in to let customer service move to the next level. Viewers, ah, um, I'm overwhelmed. But when I'm overwhelmed, that's how I behave. Because from point one to point five has been a full course on its own. And she even said that she is just scratching the surface. She really didn't dive deeper. She said it's another topic on its own when it comes to those areas. So we are definitely going to have again to dive deeper into some of the areas that we're not able to cover. But on this note, we say thank you for giving us a pictorial view of what customer service is all about. Not just a definition, but you've really helped us chart the course of understanding how to treat a customer and how to let them feel confident in what service they are gaining or getting from you, the company.
Thank
So
you.
we are so grateful. We are so
Thank
thankful.
you.
And
I just
we will
want
listen.
to say one last thing.
All right, all right,
I
right.
want to
Cool.
say one last thing, that we all have to remember, and it's important you mentioned something about products. People are not
Okay.
buying products anymore. They are buying
Okay.
experience. They are buying
Okay.
memories. That's why
Okay.
someone could walk into, say, for example, Kempinski, and buy
Right.
food that you think, but this food is gobe or whatever. I can buy it outside for 3 cedi. And somebody is paying 150. They're paying for the experience. They're paying for the
Yeah.
memory,
Yeah.
what they're paying
Sure.
for.
Sure.
So that food is
Sure.
actually 5 Ghana cedis. But the AC, the lighting, the splendor, the person who will cater to you, who will serve you, and who will make you feel special is what that
Wow.
140 Ghana cedis is all about. So people are paying for experience. Remember
Experience
that anytime you're serving the customer, how
is
can I
experience.
make the experience an unforgettable one for the customer?
Wow. This is lovely. We are paying for experience, not the product or service. So next time, put that at the back of your mind that the experience you are creating is going to last a long or a lifetime for the person. It's going to be a memory that when they think of buying the best Kobe in town, that experience is what is going to pop up. That experience is always going to come out. Wow. Wow. That was also another killer point there. The experience. The experience. We are buying the experience, not the service or the product. So, a very insightful and interactive and an impact that you've shared that is going to influence our generation on the way we perceive and look at customer service. You are the feel and the look, the touch, the attitude, the knowledgeability, the sales techniques, the processes and procedure of the organization. So the next time a customer approaches you, make sure you activate all these points to be at work, to give that customer an experience. So thank you so much, Madam Yvonne. So you said Tuesday you are moving to, is it Zambia or Zimbabwe?
Tuesday, yes, Zambia. So I'll be in Zambia by Wednesday, and on Thursday I'm opening up their customer service conference for 2 days. The next day, I'll have a session. And yes, this is what we're doing for the continent.
Wow, wow, this is marvelous. This is something else. And then, do you have any projects that or anything that you are running aside what you're going to do?
A lot. There are a number of things. I mean, I built an online learning platform last year. I am a Udemy instructor. Udemy is an American online learning platform, and I've been a Udemy instructor for like 3 years now. And what it allows you to do is to share your knowledge with people all over the world. And honestly, I think most of my student base is actually in America. Funnily enough, you know, I got on there because I wanted to reach out to Ghanaians, but I reach out to people in 110 countries over the world. So through that, when the pandemic happened, I built my own online learning platform. So I don't do one-on-one face-to-face training unless it's a corporate organization where I can come and do it for you in your organization. You can take control of your own learning. You go on the site, pay for the course, start learning. There's an assessment. When you pass, we send you a certificate, and you can also become a member of the West African Association of Customer Service Professionals. So that's there. Then we have, of course, the Ghana Customer Service Index, which has been running for 4 years. And it's a survey that I run every year. We sample or we survey 10 different sectors and about 130 organizations. And we ask questions about the service they are providing. So when we get the results, the beginning of the year, January, this year will be the last week in January, we outdoor the results in a press conference. So everybody comes to sit and they want to hear, hey, how did we do? Who was first in the banking industry? Who was second in insurance? Who was third in maybe public sector? And it allows people to sit down and ask themselves, what can we do better? But that's a project that I do every year. And the online platform is also opened, you know, all the time.
Right. You want to tell us about is it the Ada Hall of Fame?
Oh, okay. Ada. So I am from Ada myself. My middle name is Ohui. So I'm from Ada. I'm Gadangbe. My mom is from Babadi. My dad is from Ada. So I'm pure Gadangbe. Even though I think I look more Ashanti than anything. But, and I speak Tree very well. So I think it can easily like confuse people. So Ada is where I'm from, and they decided to honor me. They decided to honor me when they were putting together a few of the women who come from the area who they think are doing exceptionally well. So they added me to their special gem, Adan Hall of Fame. So when you see, that's what it means, that I'm part of the Adan Hall of Fame for 2020. Yes.
Yes. That is just because.
And this year, I'm sorry, let me also just say this. This year, last week, I was awarded. So they gave me an achievement award. I don't know if you know CXP Ghana, Customer Experience Ghana. They had their first conference. It's a worldwide association, but it's a Ghana chapter. And it was thrilling. They awarded me as somebody who, you know, stands out when it comes to customer service. I was pleased. I by all means didn't think that I have to stop doing what I'm doing. Actually, that makes me know that I have more to do, that people expect a lot from me and they're looking at me. So I'm also trying my best to make sure that I'm always innovating and learning about my people as well, so that I can give them a customized solution in customer service.
Right. So this is tailored, customized solution. Wow. So you did it right at all costs at the first time, and that has taken you into the Hall of Fame of Adan. And get ready for more to come up, because this is just the beginning, and then you're going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame of, World Forum on Customer Service Experts.
Thank you.
So just get ready for that.
Thank you so
Just
much.
get ready for that in the shortest possible time. It's going to happen. So, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of African Speakers Season Network people, we are so thrilled, we are so happy, we are so blessed to have Yvonne MacCarthy in our midst to share with us this beautiful, wonderful knowledge about customer service experience. So, as I always say, make sure you get to the top level of your dreams, because dreams are in levels. So until the next time, my name is Ambassador Benjamin Ozuanza, and we're going to meet here again next week, and it's going to be another powerful impact. So from that until then, I say bye-bye. Keep on bringing your questions, and Yvonne is going to have them. And if you're ready and welcoming to sponsor and partner with this program so we can have a wider range, our email address has been put in the chat box, so you can pick it up. Let's have a wonderful customer experience, and let's reach out to the world. Thank you, and meet you next time.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.